Hey, this is the Daily Overpass. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today I want to talk about holding back as a defense mechanism. So in high school and in junior high school, we had PE class or gym. I assume you had it too. I know my kids have it here in England, and I assume all over the world that's a part of growing up. That's a part of going to school. You have your PE and you have to take your time out of the classroom to go put on yesterday's smelly gym clothes and go out there and participate in sports, which is actually a really good thing. And I appreciate the idea of doing it as a grown-up, but as a kid, I hated it. That was my least favorite class. I would spend most of gym class, if I was allowed, just leaning against the wall, just looking disinterested and trying really hard to look disinterested, right? Whenever we would play a team sport like basketball or softball or soccer or American football, I would just sort of, kick the ball, dribble it a little bit, pass to somebody else, and just try to look as disinterested as possible. And when they would choose captains, when they would choose teams and they would pick two captains and they would pick the people, I was frequently the last. Sometimes I was the second to the last. That was a good day, right? Because I just didn't want to be there and I didn't want to do it. And there were a lot of classes like that too, where I was just not participating and just doing as little as possible. Right, just doing as little as possible. And I'm a bit ashamed to admit it now, because when I meet people like that, I just want to strangle them. Like if you go to like a fast food restaurant, the guy behind the counter is just like, whatever, do this, do that, do that. I want to strangle him, but that was me. That was me as a kid, right? I think a lot about why I behaved that way as a kid and why I behaved that way a little bit as an adult sometimes. And it wasn't because I wasn't interested. It wasn't because I was bad at sports, because if I tried, I would have been better at them, right? And maybe I wouldn't have been as good as the best kids in the class, but I would have been better at it. But there was something about failing when you're really trying that is more embarrassing than just failing when you're not trying. If you fail at something and you weren't giving it your all, you have an excuse. You have a way to say, oh yeah, well I was just giving it a try. I was just, doing this thing. I wasn't really that into it, but whatever. But if you fail and you're really trying it, you don't just fail, you get the pity of others. You get people saying, oh, you really wanted that. I'm so sorry. And for some reason that always bothered me as a kid, and it bothers me now. Right? So as I grew up, in some ways, I still carry that trait, that subconscious thing that triggers that from time to time. And I wish that I didn't. And every so often, I have to catch myself doing it. In the Army, it wasn't so much the case because you're always somebody shouting in your face and everybody's really motivated. But in university, yeah, there were quite a few classes like that too. And when I was working at a company, while I was working with other people, it was the same kind of thing. You want to look like you're trying, but you don't want to look like you're trying too hard, because if you do, someone would call you like a creep. I remember the first time somebody called me a suck-up because I was doing a good job, and then that just sort of pulled me back down. That crabs in the barrel thing, pulling you back down, and you're like, I'm not a suck-up. I don't care if I do a good job on this or whatever, when really, that should have been nothing to be ashamed of. But the most embarrassing thing was when I started my own company, and I wouldn't tell anybody about it. Right, I talked about this before. One time I had somebody say, I said, I'm starting this company, and for some reason, I didn't want to tell people that this was something I really wanted, that this was a dream and a goal of mine. I didn't want to tell everybody that I want this to be great, I want this to be huge, I want this to be big, because if I failed, and there's a high chance of failure, I didn't want their pity. I didn't want them to say, I told you so. So I would say, yeah, I'm starting this company. I want to give it a go. I want to try this on my own. I'm starting an app, but it's probably not going to do very well, but I'm starting this app. And just starting from this place of lack and no enthusiasm, kind of just like preparing myself for failure. So if I failed, I wouldn't feel embarrassed about it. And over the last few years, I start realizing how often I do that, even as a grown-up, even as a grown man who can see this behavior in myself sometimes. I have to stop myself. Right? There's certain things that I started doing in recent years, like telling our clients, hey, we really want to impress you here, right? Because I've said this to other companies too. Are you trying to impress us? And they go, no, we're not trying to impress you. We're just trying to do this ever. So why are you trying to impress me? So I'll tell our clients, hey, we want to do a really good job and we really, really want to impress you with this. And sometimes we don't. Sometimes we mess up. Sometimes, they are not impressed, and sometimes we make mistakes, and that it really hurts is that, because we really, really want to do a good job, and there's certain things we want to do a good job on. On these YouTube videos, I want to do really well. Sometimes we mess up. And the fact that I'm trying at them, when I mess up, it's, it hurts more, but I have to give my all on it. It's one of these things where I have to remind myself, don't hold back just in case you fail. Go forward all the way. And it's something, and I don't know if it's just me or if it's just the type of person I am, but it's one of these things that creeps up from time to time. And I see it in other people too, people who want to do videos, but they want to look like they're not putting a lot of effort into it. And I was that way in the beginning. Like, yeah, I just do it for a minute, and I'm just doing this thing, I'm probably not going to work, but whatever, whatever, right? And just not doing it. But there's something, when you see somebody who doesn't have those kind of traits, when you see somebody who says, dude, I'm gonna lose like 50 pounds this year, or dude, I'm gonna do really well at this, or dude, I'm gonna become this, or dude, I'm gonna be this. And there's that enthusiasm, there's no holding back, there's no hedging their bets, there's no that feeling of embarrassment to say what they really, really wanna do. We admire that. I mean, that's so admirable, and I wish I could be more that way, and I try every day. So I just wanted to share that with you. Those things that we learn as a kid, the fear of embarrassment because you were trying for something and you failed, it holds us back in a lot of different ways. And I wish I was completely free of it, but I'm not, but I'm still working at it. So my question to you guys today, do you feel this? Do you ever feel that little bit of you holding back where you want something, but you don't want to say it because you can't share it with everybody because they'll criticize you. And if they criticize you and then you fail at it, then they're right. That's like the core of it a lot of the time. Or do you ever have these kind of feelings, or is it just me? So anyway, that is it for today. I will talk to you guys again tomorrow.